Sim Racing Dan here with Week 8 in the ISRA Grand Touring Championship, brought to you by O'Neill PC Systems. This is Week 8 of 9, and it's at Virginia International Raceway. Once again, the Mazdas starting out at the back of the pack, with the V8s in front and the Mustangs in the middle. So, let me quickly talk about what's happened here. I qualified ahead of Gary in the red and gray right there. However, due to some slow start of the folks ahead of me, he got to slip by. I wasn't going to risk a racing incident so early on, but after looking at the replay, there was room in the center I could have snuck through, but that's alright. And heading down the back straight, this is lap 2. Not getting enough ground on Gary to make the pass right there, so letting him take the lead right there. Currently in 5th position with Eric in front, the other Eric behind him, and then Colin following, and finally Gary ahead of me. Heading down the front straight now. I wanted to do something interesting and throw a little picture-in-picture in the lower right of the copter view of the replay, but I didn't get a chance. I'll try to do that, or I tried, but it failed, so I'll try to do that again. Alright, Gary goes off, which was really unfortunate for lap 2. I was looking forward to a good fight with him here. And that puts me pretty solidly in 4th position. You can see the top 3 Miatas right there. Alright, we are looking at around lap 10 here. And Eric had made one mistake. He'd been gaining a lot of ground on me, or getting a big gap, and then he made a second mistake here, going off at the oak tree. I'm able to make the turn without hitting him as he rejoins the track. And that puts me into 3rd position. Still in 3rd position here, and there is Eric still tailing right behind me, and Eric Foss behind him. He is already pitted. That explains why what was once the race leader is now in 4th position. Colin's still ahead of me. He hasn't pitted yet. I decided to take this opportunity to pit, which was probably a mistake in retrospect. It gave Eric Palacio the opportunity to, right there, let Eric Foss by. Eric Foss is the faster driver and gives Eric Palacio the opportunity to just draft away behind him. So doing a stop and go on this race, this track was pretty easy on the tires, so there was no reason to make a change. And that puts me into, well, I just got passed by Mitchell, so I think that puts me into 5th currently, but as this is the pit time, it's kind of hard to say exactly. Alright, so we fast forward now to the last lap. Eric Palacio had to pit at some point, and I was able to get ahead of him while he was in the pits, actually while he was exiting the pits. So we're just going to go and watch this entire last lap here. You can see Eric in my mirror, that nice yellow spot that's growing larger and larger by the moment. One mistake here and he will pass me, so I have to be flawless and I have to keep up some decent speed so that he can't pass me. This is a pretty tough section to pass in, and since he's essentially right behind me, I figure better safe than sorry. Not exactly blocking, but there's no room to pass, so don't push it and end up spinning here. Alright, coming out onto the straight, had to do the last turn sequence as fast as I could, leading up to the straight, because this is definitely a passing opportunity. But he's still behind me. It looked like he was almost thinking of going to the side, but didn't have a chance before the S's came up. There he is next to me, but right into the deep braking zone. Not going to risk it there. And braking into the oak tree. This is where Eric has been particularly strong, but I've got him behind me so I can dictate the pace on entering the back straight here. Eric's got the advantage of the draft, and that's definitely a good advantage to have because it makes passing quite easy. You can see he was behind me by a decent amount, probably half a second at least, if not 3/4, and here he's coming up alongside me into the braking zone. I've got the inside line on the right-hander here, so he slips back behind me and is right on my bumper. I've got almost no fuel left. You can see the low fuel light on there. Once again, need a strong exit through that corner in order to have enough speed on the straight. Eric's behind me, but not for long. He's coming up alongside. So it's down to the start-finish. And there we go. I made it by about half a car length. So another third-place finish for me. And a fun, but mostly everything happening behind me race, so not that interesting a video this week. Hopefully you enjoyed the end there. I know I did. Alright, next week is week 9, the last one in this season, so stay tuned for that.